But if they would have just killed all of them on the ship, the rebel base would never have gotten the Death Star plans because the plans were on the Death Star the whole time. Welcome back to Trees in Space Show, the show where destiny tends to show up disguised as a terrible plan. And Jason, my destiny this week was the 1977 fantasy Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I'm your host for this episode, Nate Hanks, and with me, as always, is a man who believes a reckless plan becomes a strategy if you say it confidently enough, Jason Smith. Jason, how different was watching this now compared to perhaps the first time you watched it?
Well, the CGI was big, new, as far as like physically watching it because it was just I don't like the CGI. I didn't like that. I don't like the additions. I understand why he did it, but that's the big difference. And as an adult compared to a child watching it the very first time, I had a lot more takeaways about this movie, So
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing, at least for you, is probably it's an entirely different movie. Because the original from 1977 is not the version we watched.
no, I mean
Um,
the story's the same, beginning, end, and middle, and all great stuff's the same, but um, I
Visually, it's a
just
different movie, though. Like,
visually, it's definitely a different movie. And there's parts I don't remember. And the thing is, I watched it, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I guess, probably. So it's just a little different when you watch it and you're excited because of all the laser stuff. And then now here is 2026. And you're watching it like, um, I'm just going to say this. We must have been starved for entertainment in 1977.
well, I will definitely say that one huge major difference is alone is the lightsabers. Like they're almost like a fluorescent light on a
Hmm.
stick compared to a
Yeah.
nice laser sword.
What? I'm gonna walk out with a laser sword and face down the whole First Order?
That's in the current movies. But I think what we should probably do is just get into the about what this movie is about, so then you and I can really go ahead and dive into this movie. And this movie, according to Rotten Tomatoes, is the Imperial forces under orders from cruel Darth Vader hold Princess Leia hostage in their efforts to quell the rebellion against the Galactic Empire. Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon, work together with the companionable droid duo R2-D2 and C-3PO to rescue the beautiful princess and help the rebel alliance and restore freedom and justice to the galaxy.
You don't mention Chewbacca. Can we
Well, of course
please
not.
mention Chewbacca?
They only have to reference the people that actually did something worth getting a medal for.
Yeah, that was pretty rude. Well, R2D2 and C3PO didn't get a medal. I
They
mean, if anyone
didn't.
should get a medal, it should be R2D2. He saved their butts multiple times through the whole movie.
I didn't realize how like depressed C3PO is. He's
He's a
so
complaining little bitch.
negative.
He's so bad. How do you program a robot or android to be negative?
Yeah,
I mean,
like in the
that's
beginning when they land on Tatooine, R2 is gonna go left, C3PO is gonna go right, and he's like, "I'm not going
mhm.
that way. You go." He just like, really? You're just so just.
It's and Luke Skywalker, because it's hard for me to keep this movie in the bubble by itself, knowing the rest of the storyline. So it's kind of hard to just watch it for what it is and not try to add stuff because of what I already know. Um, he's a whiny little bitch.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters. This R2 unit has a bad motivator, look! It just isn't fair. Oh, Biggs is right. I'm never gonna get out of here. Not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock.
He whines more than C3PO in this whole movie, I thought. I was gonna go to whatever station to get some power converters. I was like, shut up, dude. Work on your moisture farm or whatever it is. A moisture farm, and there's what, 3 suns in the sky? What the?
Yeah.
Move. Just do something else.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So, Stormtroopers, right? Historically, horrible marksmanship.
Not according to Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get into. They really praised the marksmanship of a stormtrooper in this movie. Where did the stormtrooper instructors go that taught marksmanship in the rest of the franchise?
I, I think because, and I'm gonna have to dive into the other movies because I think because Obi Wan Kenobi fought in the Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and those stormtroopers were all clones
Yep.
of the same person, and they were perfected. The new stormtroopers are not clones; they're separate people, so they can't be trained the same. So he's thinking the original stormtroopers, marksmanships are wonderful.
Well,
But yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Hey, that's a good point because
Right.
all the stormtroopers, essentially up to Jedi, are clones, and assumingly after Jedi, when the New Republic is coming up, would be the whatever orphan baby Jedi stormtroopers.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking you're. I know what you're saying, but that argues my point. My point is the people in return on this movie right here
Yeah.
that they weren't clones. They were. But then again, they saying that they let them escape, so they missed on purpose or something like that. And I'm like,
Well,
uh,
you're
I know.
so
I'm just
far
saying.
ahead of where.
But the point is that they missed them so much. All the whole plan was have all these freaking stormtroopers get killed. I guess you have to, have to do your plan. If that means you got to sacrifice, 150 stormtroopers, you sacrifice 150 stormtroopers.
So you're gonna bring me down a hole that I wasn't prepared to go down yet. But this movie is the perfect example of a perfect storm movie. Every single thing has to happen exactly how it is in order for all the events to take place. If,
hmm
let's say, R2 doesn't run away, Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru don't die because the R2 unit goes away. If Luke doesn't get hit by the sand person or whatever,
Right.
and old Ben just happened to be walking by at that particular moment, the whole like R2 wouldn't have met Obi Wan. That if that sand person called out sick that day, the whole movie would have been done. There would have been no movie.
Well, I think that's the same. That's the same logic with anything, though. I mean, it's just it only happens because it happens. I mean, the story behind here, and I know what you're saying because you got to get Luke into the rebellion. He's gonna become a Jedi. The rest of the story would happen just fine without him because if they didn't get picked up by the Ewoks, not the Ewoks, um the little people that found the robots that sold them
Yeah.
to whatever they're
Jawas.
called, Jawas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If they didn't pick them up and they found Ben Kenobi by himself without no problem, and Luke wasn't involved in that, you're right. They never went to Luke's farm. Luke wouldn't have been involved whatsoever. Obi-Wan Kenobi would have went to the station to find probably Han Solo anyway, and that story would have kept going on. Luke would have had no part of it. So the only reason they have a way is to get Luke in the story. But I'm wondering if Obi-Wan would have went and got Luke.
Well,
So
it's interesting that you say it because if you kind of really want to boil it down, Obi-Wan knew everything that was going on in the movie. He said he wasn't leaving the Death Star. That wasn't his
yeah.
plan. He knew what Luke and Han were going to do. So,
Mhm.
in theory, Obi-Wan already knew that the Empire went to the moisture farm and already did what they did to his parents or his aunt and uncle, and then he knew he was going to come back. So, like, I feel like he's manipulating the Force to advance to get Luke to do what
Luke.
he needs him to do, which then fights the fight.
See, that was the one thing that I'm really. It might be nitpicking, but there's a few things that were said that just seemed like what the hell? It just kind of like left field. It was one of them was I understand it's the storyline, but one of them was when Obi Wan Kenobi is sitting there thinking about before they leave together, and he goes, "You need to come with me and fight with the rebellion." It's like, damn, that was that was
Fast.
I was like, what? I don't know you, dude. You just gave me this thing. I don't know how to use it. I don't know my dad, and I, that was. And the other one was where later on, where Darth Vader's there, and they capture the Millennium Falcon, and then he speaks in front of this guy. Somebody goes, "There's a presence I haven't felt since." He walks away. It's like that's just randomly. Darth Vader doesn't speak like that just to randomly talk to himself.
It's funny. So I noticed a scene that shouldn't have happened. So I recall hearing that the actor that played Darth Vader actually spoke the lines.
He
And
did.
then they dubbed in James Earl Jones' voice after the fact. There's a part when Vader is talking to one of the officers, and it's just him and him, Vader, officer. And then you see Vader's hand go like this.
Yes,
And he's not talking.
I told you she would never consciously betray the rebellion.
Terminate her immediately.
Because James finished the line before the other actor probably did.
Yes, he was in the he was in like all the chairs or whatever. He's standing by
Yeah,
the
like
chairs,
conference room with a table.
Yes,
And he
like-
just, and no talking.
no dialogue whatsoever. And I mean,
They're
I'm
probably
giving
like,
it a break.
nobody's
It was
gonna notice
77.
this.
Yes, it's like a dubbed one of those kung fu movies at the time, but instead with the voices, it was with the hands. Like, I want you to go away.
Yeah. Another really funny jab is R2 calls CPO a mindless philosopher. And like CPO gets so offended by it. That's like when they were getting ready to part ways or whatever, and CPO,
Okay.
which I thought was fantastic. And then another thing that was really dumb, and it made me think of Spaceballs and Family Guy, when they're in the sand, old dude picks up a washer and is like, droids. Really? Like
Yeah.
the droid track and the footprints and the non-occupied
And
spaceship
the fact
wasn't
that
the giveaway.
you knew you're down there looking for droids because that's yes, he did. He has this little like ring. This like that was pretty. I didn't think about that, and I will say, one of the I think one of the best acting things in the whole movie. It's a very small scene, but when they come out of hyperspace, this is with Han Solo. And I think Han Solo is hilarious. He's so funny in this. And Alderon's no longer there because it's blown up, so they're in an asteroid field. And that fighter comes through, and he says, "This fighter that small can't be, out here by himself." And they go, "Well, he's going to that moon." And then Obi-Wan's like, "That's not a moon."
Yeah,
And then
his whole face, everything was so brilliantly done.
And then they go. Then Han Solo goes, "No, it's too big." He goes, "Space station." He goes, "It's too big to be a space station." And then, what's the name said?
Luke.
I have a funny feeling about this.
Yep.
And then he goes, "We need to back out." And Han Solo goes, "Yeah, I think maybe you're right." But
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's too big to be a space station.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
Turn the ship around.
Yeah, I think you're right. Full reverse. Chewie, lock in the auxiliary power.
that whole scene was well done. The way they all acted that, I was like, that. No one talks about that scene enough. I don't think that was a perfectly done scene.
I agree. Do you know who Captain Antilles is?
Like the actor.
I don't know. I know I wrote it down. He's supposedly the owner of the R2 unit, the original owner of the R2 unit,
Oh.
or of R2-T2.
Okay,
I meant to
yeah.
look it up before this, but I got distracted with real life. And
No, Achilles, I know that's not the name of Princess Leia's droid. Oh, maybe it is. Is that her? No, her name is Oregano or something like that. Her last name is not
Organa?
Oregano, but Organa. So it's not his. So I'm sure he's brought up in like the prequel movies.
Probably.
I'm sure.
I got
And I like Princess Leia. I liked how she was like no nonsense. But what got me is here's Luke. The first time he shoots someone is in that scene to rescue her, the princess. You know, when Chewie knocks the guy down, then he pulls his gun out and shoots the dude. I'm like, when did you get a professional shooting range on with a handgun? I know you're a great pilot, but and how many cameras do you need in the detention center?
well, he could bullseye a womp rat with his T-16.
They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
Yeah.
So,
Something else that I can't believe, the security on the Death Star is awful. Like, at one point, Han Solo has a sniper laser rifle and his hands are right on top of it. And he's just like sitting there. And you got Luke walking all around looking left and right.
Yeah.
A normal stormtrooper isn't that curious and has way better weapon discipline.
Yes. And another comment that was made that I thought was kind of weird was when Luke opens up the detention center and Leia's there, and Leia's like, "You're kind of short for a stormtrooper." She wouldn't have said that, I don't think, because she kind of like she's not friendly with stormtroopers. And him goes, "Oh, the outfit or the helmet, whatever." Like, why would he say that out loud? He would just take off his helmet and then say, "Hey," because we all realize that she is, she don't know who that is.
Right.
And I'm just like, but then again, George Lucas is not known for his like good writing ability. He got to get script, but like, people don't talk this way.
Well, I think when it comes to Luke, he's supposed to be a kid, like 18,
Yes.
19 or whatever.
Yes.
But Leia is his same age, they're twins, spoilers,
Yeah.
acts so much ahead of him as far as like maturity level.
Well, she'd been fighting a rebel,
True. She was a
alliance, so-
princess. He was a dirt farmer.
Right. She was just like, she's a traitor in a rebel alliance, or whatever, Darth Vader said. And they give them Millennium Falcon, and they're like, they walk through it. The two stormtroopers they walk up together. No one's here, and then they walk out like it's a freaking NPC video game. And then they send up the people to do the scan. They got beat up, and
Right.
yeah.
Well, here we go. When they get Leia out of prison, right, out of her jail cell, she blasts the hole into the trash compactor. They're fighting off. This is the only way out. They're fighting off these stormtroopers. There are still stormtroopers left. Why didn't any of the stormtroopers just drop like a plasma grenade or something into the trash compactor and blow them up?
That's a very good question. Because
you can shoot and it's going to bounce off because of the magnetic enforced walls. So
the concussion just bouncing off it. Yeah, they'd all been dead.
Yeah, there is no reason outside of they let them leave that they should have left. And honestly, they shouldn't have let them leave. Again, like horrible planning by the Empire. They just
they had to go they had to go to they planned it so they go find the rebel base.
Right, but if they would have just killed all of them on the ship, the rebel base would never have gotten the Death Star plans because the plans were on the Death Star the whole time.
That's a good point.
So, really, the movie,
true, because
if they would have squashed them like a bug on the Death Star, none of the rest of the movie would have happened. Again,
no.
Every single thing had to be exactly how it is. And, there's no other course of action. There's no two possible ways to get to one point.
Oh, there absolutely would have been. They could have written it a different way. And I'm disagreeing with you because every movie's that way. You name a Kevin Smith movie that it don't go the exact that way or don't end that way. Well, it has to be that way.
I guess this movie just follows a very linear timeline.
It does.
And you say a Kevin Smith movie, I'll do Jump the Clerks. They go to it's an out of order timeline, which affects the movie, which is part of the reason why we haven't watched it, because I don't want to shit on my favorite movie. And but you could take out the Julie Dwyer death scene, and it still kind of follows suit. There's no possible influence outside of Dante and Randall that would affect the movie. This movie, one fly out of order, one speck of dust, a butterfly out of place, messes this whole movie apart. Like it really hinges on a very fine line, I think.
Right, but I think so. You're making me argue for this movie, and I don't want to argue for this movie. So stop making me argue for it, because like any story that happens, we'll just say no, no, this, but Dixie Cup, right? Dixie Cup, my little story about Dixie Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it happened. If I told that story and made a movie about it, people are like, it had to happen like this, and he had to go there at a certain time, and she had, whatever, or it ain't gonna happen. Obviously.
Well, not necessarily, because with this movie, it's all about timing. At all the time, like your story, it could have happened at any point, at any time, in any scenario.
Well, no, I had to be there though. If she didn't call me to go pick her up, I wouldn't have been there. If I didn't answer the phone, I never got the phone call. If I wasn't home alone, then if I was doing something else, it wouldn't happen. So it's the same idea. But I will tell you,
but
what I really hate about this movie.
Well, hang on. But you could reschedule that a thing. Like there's no rescheduling the course of action for this movie.
I could have rescheduled it, but the chance of that happening with Dixie Cup, if I rescheduled
that story, exactly. I will, yes. But
I don't want to defend this movie because Han Solo moves his head with Greedo at the beginning.
He does, and he does shoot first.
He does shoot first.
Also, may the Force be with you, right?
When Han Solo said that at the end, I was like, ugh.
Did you know? I didn't know until this time. He's only the second person to say it at all in the entire movie. Up until the whole "May the Force be with you" was only said twice in this entire movie.
I didn't notice that Obi Wan Kenobi really didn't say "May the Force be with you," but it says "the Force will be with you always" or something like that. But he never says "May the Force be with you." So
correct.
I don't know who the first one to say it was.
And may the Force be with you.
Han was the second one to say it.
That's the first time I noticed it being said, was when he said it, because he said it in such a weird kind of like, "May the Force be with you."
I just dawned on me too. The two people that say "May the Force be with you," not one of them is a goddamn Jedi. The Jedi doesn't say it. The non-Jedis are the one who are saying it.
Right, and even when Obi was using his brain thing when they're flying to destroy the Death Star, which I think is ridiculous, but he even says, "Use the Force, Luke."
Yeah,
he says it the whole time. And spoiler alerts, but if you haven't seen this movie, then we don't care. We'll discuss about how it blew up. Right, where did Darth Vader go? Because they said a thing that size can't go that far. Well, Alderaan's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't on Alderaan anyway, but the planet, I guess he could have went to the big planet that was hiding the moon.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't.
He ain't gonna land on the moon. Where'd he go? He did die in space.
Yeah, and he's got to have his little cryopod thing to keep him alive because he's a machine.
Yeah.
More spoilers.
So, I do like the fact that one of the lieutenant guys went up to the Supreme Commander and said, "We analyzed their battle plans. There is a risk. Do you want us to get your ship ready?"
Yes.
He's like, "Leave before my moment of triumph." See, so it wasn't like the Empire was stupid to their plan.
They just weren't aware of it until, like, oh yeah, hey, maybe there is a reasonable doubt that this could happen.
And the commander could have been like, "Yeah, get me out of here. I can watch this shit happen from a ship over here."
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Anyways.
Well, I could get way more into it. I could probably talk an hour easily about this movie.
Yes, we could.
But I feel like we should maybe start getting into what other people think. So
Absolutely.
Why don't we get into the 5-star and 1-star or less reviews? The first 5-star review comes from Matthew F. This movie cured me of the flu when I was 9.
I guess the Force was with him. That's the thing. The time
His,
about the Force, you can move stuff. Can the Force heal you too? Like
I
take the
would
flu from you?
guess, his metachlorian count was high.
And these Sith lords that are whatever that are using the bad people,
Mm.
even the good people, they still use it for such weird reasons. Like I don't understand what they're trying to control the world or control the galaxy. I'm like, I'd be like, I'm gonna control the outcome of a card game. I'm making money with my gift.
I don't want to control the universe. That just sounds like a
Yeah.
lot of effort.
Yes. The first 1 star or less review comes from Balala Law M. No skibbity funk sigma.
Ugh.
There wasn't many to choose from, sir. I'm sorry.
The next 5-star. I have nothing to say about it. I don't even know what the fart it means. Whatever. I don't care. Your opinion matters as much as what the things you typed on there. Nothing. Caesar S, 5-star. An absolute classic. I would like to remake it in the future, but with no changes to the story, just improvements in CGI.
We have improvements in CGI, and they
They
need to
done
fix
did
that. And and you can't, according to Nate, you can't make changes to the story, otherwise the story does not happen.
Yeah, everything has to happen exactly the way it is. There's no plausible way anything else can happen outside of this. Yeah.
Okay. The next 1 star less review comes from Sebastian T. And I'm going to murder these names. I apologize. No Gaper Bingzoid. No Peter Igloo. No Jinky Minus. No Bondo Reams.
You're going to just read names at me, or you're going to give me some substance?
I'm thinking these are actors that play in like another sci-fi movie or something.
Oh, it's like saying this movie's bad because Paul Rudd isn't in it.
That's the vibes I get.
Ian A closes us out with their last 5-star review. To the Lord of the Rings fans, this is not the movie you're looking for.
Ian A, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's very clever. I thought I might as well said there's only one return, and that's of the king. I mean, that's of the Jedi, not the
Jedi.
king. But I don't know how that gives it 5 stars. That's just, but the last 1 star less review comes from Stephen P, who actually gives it a review. Poor writing and effects are boring. Story is good, but can't get over the hokiness of it. Seems a joke.
I think he's smelling what I'm stepping in there, Jason. I think he gets my problem with how delicate the storyline is on this movie. The WTF comes from SLG. It's a 5-star. I think this movie is good for Star Wars fans. It's a really good movie starring a really good Star Wars piece, Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker's a piece.
It's a good Star Wars piece. He's not the integral piece to the Luke Skywalker saga.
Yeah. I believe they all have to do. I think it's the all 9 movies is Skywalker saga.
It's all for him, Damien.
Yeah.
It's all for you.
It's a.
While you heard Jason and I discuss this movie, we heard from the audience and what they thought about this movie, the goods and the bads. Now let's see what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience rated this movie with their ratings. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, they go and they went and they decided to rate this movie at 94%, while you folks at home decided that this movie deserved to be slightly better with a 96%.
Like I said at the beginning of this review, we must have been starving for entertainment in 1977. This must have been completely different. Like I said, I don't remember 77, but it's not a bad film, but I don't think it deserves 90s anything. Percentages.
I would imagine this movie could have been must have been really impressive. Like, I mean, in that point in the 70s, we had already been to the moon. You had Lost in Space, uh, a
Buck
bunch of
Rogers.
other space things. So it kind of probably hit at the right point as far as like
Yeah.
the zeitgeist of spaceness.
Ooh, big word. I like it. I wonder where I'm going to put that when I do my edit.
Well, now it's time for Jason and I to go ahead and give our final review and rating of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I will go ahead and lead off with this. Of course, I would gladly recommend this movie to my surgeon, even though it's got some holes and some issues. And I do really wish that we were able to watch the original unremastered cuts. Unfortunately, I don't own that physical media, and that's really the only way you're going to see it nowadays is through that medium. But Disney Plus had a great version, great copy of it. The It's an old movie. I had a tough time watching it because of my fandom for Star Wars and being a critic of it. I'm not going to go ahead and get into it more than we already talked about. I'm going to stick with the nagging number in the back of my head, as I told Jason when we first started, before we started this. I have no idea what I was going to rate it. I was hoping this would help me out. It didn't. So my rating of A New Hope is 3 trees.
Well, I can't watch.
I'd recommend it to my surgeon. I mean, it's Star Wars. It's original. It's like if I was going to recommend, Friday the 13th or any other kind of movie that was, a huge hit for whatever reason. Go watch the dang movie. There's a reason it's a hit. Um, I I loved Han Solo's character. I liked Princess Leia's character. I like Obi Wan's character. I like Chewbacca's. I don't like C-3PO. I don't like Luke Skywalker. It's hard to. I love Darth Vader. Um, the Luke Skywalker is the. I've talked about this before. When the movies around that one person, and I'm not a fan of that one person, it's hard for me to like the movie. But the supporting cast made it more watchable. Some of the writing was kind of honky, wrong word. Hokey was kind of hokey. But that's okay. It's a 1977 film. It was ahead of everything else. Apparently, they didn't need to mess with the CGI stuff or the special effects. I don't hold too much against them for that because that doesn't take away from the story. It was a good story. It gave us Darth Vader. I mean, one of the most epic characters of all time, and they continue with them. But I remember it being such a much better movie than I saw yesterday. And I am going to have to go down and give this thing 2 trees and 1 stump.
Hey, that's fair. It's not high praise, apparently, from here at Trees in Space World. But hey, just because I may love the movie doesn't mean it's going to be a 5 tree movie. Go take a look at Velocipaster and Frankenhooker. Though I think Frankenhooker got 5 trees. I don't know.
I think it did.
But anyway, Let us know what you think. Recommend whatever movie you think we should watch, because clearly we don't have to watch the first movie in a series to tell you what it's about. We'll watch the fourth movie of any series to let you know what it's about. Until next Monday, I've been Nate. That's been Jason. Take care, everybody.